Hi there, in this how-to video we're going to take a look at the next requirement for your school website. If you scroll down to section 12 of the school website requirements guide, you'll see that this is for your governor's information. It's split up into three sections, so a section for maintained schools, a section for academies and free schools, and a final section for FE and sixth form colleges. So it's really important when you're writing your content, just make sure you refer to the section that's appropriate to your school. They are very similar, but there are some slight differences. So in order to make sure your content is compliant, just double check that you are in the right section before you write your content. Something to point out about governor information is within each point, there are a lot of sub-points. So if we take a look at 12.1.1, you'll see that the requirement is for their full names, date of appointment, term of office, date they stepped down, and who appointed them. It's really common with governor information that some of these sections will be left off, which will make your website not compliant. So it's really important to go through this slowly and carefully and make sure you include everything within each point. Another really important thing to note about governor information is it must be uploaded in a readily accessible format. And you'll see the definition for that is down here at the bottom of section 12. And that's a really good tip for the rest of the content on your school website too. Try and make sure everything is in a readily accessible format so it can be viewed and engaged with on all devices. Along with all of the mandatory content, there's a lot of other content that you can add to your governor information that makes those pages more helpful to people when they're viewing them. For example, you could include a biography for your governors so people know what their experience is and how that's helpful to the school. And also maybe a short paragraph just to explain the role of the governing body at your school. It might be that people don't know that and are interested in it, so that's another helpful thing that you can include on your governor's page. We'll take a look at some examples of sites now that have really nice governor information, and hopefully that'll help you have some ideas with how you can improve your governor pages. The first one we're going to take a look at is Acorn School just here, and you can see that they've included a biography and a photo for each of their governors. And that just really brings the governor page to life a bit, adds a bit of colour to it, and also adds a bit of character and personality to the governing team. Often when you look at the website, it can look quite bland and quite dull and very formal, but actually to add the photos shows that they're real people with real experiences that can really benefit the school. So that's a really nice way to just bring your governor page to life a bit. The next one we're going to take a look at is Alder School. Now, your governing pages can become quite long quite easily. There's a lot of content to add. So they've split it up into different pages. So the first page they've used as an introduction to the governing body, just to explain what the role is at school and how that's helpful to school. So you can see that that's just here. And on the second page, they've added the rest of the content, which makes sure that their site is compliant. And you can see that they've added that in a responsive and clear table. A table is often a really clear and logical way to display a lot of your governing body information. And you can see that they've made sure that's readily accessible by including it straight into the content of the page. The next one we'll take a look at is St Francis in Manchester. Now they've got all their governing body information on one page, but they've broken it down into sections and they've made sure that they've still included those pictures and those biographies there just to bring the page to life a little bit and add a little bit of colour. And you can see here, back at the top, that they've included their governing body information in a document group, which again is making sure that that's a readily accessible document. So you can see that I can view it within the page without having to go to any external links or documents. Again, it's a nice table which just clearly lays out the information that they have to display. The next example we'll take a look at is Tarleton, and again they've gone for the option of having all of their content on one page, but you can see here that they've used really clear bold headings to make sure that the information is clear to identify. So if you're only interested in a certain aspect of the governing body, then you should be able to find that information quite quickly without looking through everything by just looking at the headers. And again, the use of document groups, make sure that's a readily accessible document. And the final one we'll take a look at is Astley Park School. Now you can see here that the governor information has been given a really prominent place on the site, and it's really clear where you need to go to find that information. So if I click on staff and governors, there's a section for our governors here, and they've broken it down into lots of different sub pages. So again, if you're only interested in a certain element of the governor information, then you should be able to find that quite easily within a couple of clicks. Again, they've gone for the table option to display this information. So when you're preparing your governor information, just make sure that you display it in a way that's logical and clear for people to understand, and also adds a bit of personality and a bit of context to what the governors actually do at your school. If you've got any further questions about how to display your governor information or how to make sure it is compliant, then just drop us an email at hi@scudio.com and we'll be happy to help.